Well, this is probably the only talking you're going to hear me do. I haven't decided yet exactly what I'm going to have playing, but it'll be a cast where I'm not talking much. So I'm going to try to set up a playlist here in Windows Media Player. This is a good one to start off with. So,
The Mutual Broadcasting System, in cooperation with Family.
let's see, let me get a capture area started. Not that it matters what I capture, since I may play some Oregon Trail along with this, but I may not. So welcome to like an old-fashioned radio Christmas.
Theater Incorporated presents transcribed A Daddy for Christmas, starring Pat O'Brien, Linda Johnson, and Bobby Driscoll. Shirley Temple is your hostess.
Let me just get my playlist straightened out here. Let's see. I can remember how to create a playlist in this. Oh. Wow, it's been so long since I've used Windows Media Player. Maybe I can get them playing in something else that I know how to create a playlist in. Pretty sure VLC can also play these. Ah, yes, it can. Something I know how to capture with. Not that I know how to capture with, but something I know how to play with.
The Mutual Broadcasting System, in cooperation.
Add a playlist to. So I'll get this all set up. And look, isn't VLC nice to even have the little Santa hat on the little cone? Yeah, let me get this all set up here. I think I know how to make a playlist in this. Knew how to in the old version. Playlist, aha. Let's see, add to playlist. Guess I could play them one at a time.
Family Theater Incorporated presents transcribed A Daddy for Christmas, starring Pat O'Brien, Linda Johnson, and Bobby Driscoll. Shirley Temple is your hostess.
More things are wrought by prayer than this world dreams of. When I was a little girl, I once received a doll for Christmas. It wasn't very expensive, nor even the prettiest doll in my collection. But I kept that doll and cherished it long after my other Christmas toys had disappeared. It came from someone I loved, someone who loved me, too. No matter how high the gifts are piled, any Christmas tree is bare which doesn't have love around it. That's why it's so important for us to make our homes places of love. Not just Christmas Day, but every day of the year. And one thing is certain. Love is always present in the home where daily family prayer is a practice. Family prayer will bring love and goodness and understanding. The best Christmas gifts any family can receive.
Shirley Temple will speak again following our family theater play, A Daddy for Christmas, starring Pat O'Brien, Bobby Driscoll, and Linda Johnson.
Hey, Marana, how are you doing?
Most people look on Christmas as a special occasion. With me, well, I guess it's what my little Stevie would call extra special. As long as I live, Christmas will be extra special for me now. But in early December last year, when I took Stevie to the toy department of Weber's department store, I had no idea, to quote Stevie again, how extra special that Christmas was going to be.
Look, Mommy, look! That black ball got real swollen. And look, there's a reindeer. And there's Santa Claus. Mommy, do you think Santa will talk to me?
But you just talked to the Santa when he was across the street.
I forgot to tell him something.
I think you asked for everything in the store. But okay, this is your picnic. As soon as that little girl gets through. Now,
Santa Claus.
Well, what a nice little boy. Come here and tell Santa what you want for Christmas.
You know.
Huh?
I'm Stephen Hunt. You know what I want.
Santa, you took his list when you were across the street in Wilson's department store?
Yeah, that's right. I remember you now. I was getting you all mixed up with another nice little boy I know.
Mommy calls me a little scamp.
But you're a nice little scamp. I'll tell you what, son. I left my notebook across the street. So, how about you giving me that list of all the things all over again? First, what's your address?
Stephen Hunt, 2228 Elm Street.
All right, Stephen. Now, what do you want for Christmas?
Well, I want the sled.
Mm-hmm.
The bicycle.
With 2 wheels?
With 3 wheels.
Oh, that's a tricycle.
I don't want a tricycle. I want a bicycle.
With 3 wheels?
Uh-huh.
1 bicycle with 3 wheels. I got it.
And I want a scooter, a pony, a wagon, and I want a daddy.
Daddy?
His daddy didn't come back from the war. I don't think Stevie remembers him, but
all his friends have daddies.
And I want a daddy, too.
I'm afraid a daddy is a little out of Santa Claus's line, darling.
Son, let's check that address again. Stephen Hunt,
Stephen Hunt, 2228 Elm Street.
It was a lonely Christmas Eve for Stevie and me. Christmas away from my folks and my late husband. Just a bit hard to take. But my job as secretary in a lawyer's office didn't allow me time for a trip home. Stevie and I lived in a made-over 2-room apartment in one corner of a family dwelling with an entrance off the driveway. Mrs. Rawson, my landlady, who took care of Stevie when I was at work, was visiting her daughter's family that evening and over Christmas Day. Stevie and I were alone. Stevie kept rearranging the few wrapped packages at the foot of our little Christmas tree. All right, Stevie, off to bed. I said to bed, not to the window.
I'm looking for Santa Claus.
Now get to bed. Santa will come after you're asleep.
There he is now.
There who is?
There's Santa Claus. He's coming up the drive with a great big bag.
What?
Here he comes. Here he comes.
Stevie, what on earth?
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
Santa Claus! Santa Claus! I told Mommy it was you. What'd you bring me?
It is Santa Claus.
Oh, please, lady, don't tell me you don't believe in Santa Claus.
I'll believe anything now.
What'd you bring me? What'd you bring me?
Well, now, wait, let me put my bag down first.
Oh, what are you doing here?
Well, I was just flying by on my reindeer, my sleigh, when I saw what a nice Christmas tree you had and decided to drop in. Well, I couldn't find a chimney on this side of the house, so I decided to use the door.
Where's your reindeer?
My reindeer. Sent them back to the North Pole to pick up some more toys.
What'd you bring me?
Well, let's open my bag here. See what we got for Stephen. Well, bicycle with 3 wheels.
Oh, Mommy, look! Santa Claus remembered. Can I ride it, can I? It's got a bell! It's got a bell! Mommy, what's the matter?
Nothing, honey. I'm just happy because Santa Claus remembered. He's really asleep now. That, Santa suit must be awfully hot. Would you like to take it off?
I'll say. There. Now the beard. Oh, that feels better.
Why, you...
What's the matter?
You're a young man.
Is that bad?
No, but I just thought Santa Claus was older. I mean...
You mean you thought Santa Claus was older? Well, I hope you're not disappointed. My name's Joe Regan.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Regan. Won't you...
Joe.
Won't you please sit down?
Thanks.
Now, tell me, why did you do this? Not that I don't appreciate it,
I had to. After all, I'm Santa Claus. And a swell little kid with a pretty and nice acting mother comes up to me and says, Santa, I want a bicycle with 3 wheels. Well, what kind of a Santa Claus would I be if I didn't come through?
But why Stevie? There must have been thousands of boys and girls who asked you for presents. Why Stevie?
Well, maybe it's because he asked for something different. He said he wanted a daddy for Christmas.
Oh, no. That's going too far, Joe. I mean, Mr. Regan.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. I'm afraid Stevie won't get his daddy for Christmas. Maybe by Easter?
You don't think...
Oh, no, of course not, but already I like you a good deal.
I like you, too, but... We sound like a couple of kids.
A couple of nice kids, I'll have you know.
Joe, you're crazy. You're the most audacious, Oh, you're very nice, Joe, but that tricycle must have cost a lot of money. You'll have to return it.
I won't take that bicycle with 3 wheels away from Stevie. You do it.
Oh, no, I couldn't. He already loves it. All right, you win. He keeps the tricycle.
1 round for Joe Regan.
But about that daddy business, that's out. But it wasn't out. Joe kept coming around, sometimes to see me, and sometimes to take Stevie, who adored him, for an outing. We were married shortly before Easter, and we were lucky. We found a little furnished house in a nice section of the city, and I talked Joe into quitting the job he had in a furniture factory, where he did a lot of manual labor, into taking a sales position with the Jensen Hardware Company. Strangely, Joe balked at this and insisted he preferred working with his hands, but he finally gave in. After all, the new job held something of a future. The best part of it all was, for the first time in his war-born life, Stevie began to know what a home was.
Strike 3. You're out.
I am not. That was a foul tip.
You're out. You're out.
All right. We'll have to ask the umpire. Jimmy, wasn't that a foul tip?
You struck out. 1, 2, 3, you're out.
Oh, you kids are ganging up on me.
It's my bat. Stevie! Mother!
Hear that, Stevie?
I want a bat first.
No, can't keep Mother waiting. Last one of the house is the monkey's uncle. So long, Jimmy.
So long. See you in the morning. Hey, you got a head start. I beat. You're a monkey's uncle. Hello, Mommy. Daddy's a monkey's uncle.
Hello, darling. You're getting harder to pick up every day.
Oh, how about it? Doesn't the monkey's uncle get a kiss? Better.
Sometimes it was like having 2 little boys around the house. But what mother objects to that? There were other times, however, when Joe was more than a little boy to me. Much more.
Honey, why did you marry me?
What?
Why did you marry me?
How can you ask a question like that?
Well, I guess, when I used to pester you about it, I used to tell you that Stevie needed a father, and that was my main sales talk.
Joe, I married you because I love you. I need you. You should know that.
Well, yes, of course. But the way you do it on that kid, well...
Joe, I love you so much. I guess I did almost from the start.
When I was Santa Claus?
No, silly.
Well, that's when I fell in love with you. Just as soon as Stevie told me he wanted a daddy, and I looked at you realizing I had a chance. You looked like everything I wanted. When I got to know you, you were everything I wanted.
And Joe was everything I wanted. At least that's what I thought until late one afternoon in August.
Hello, Mary. It's Mary.
Joe, the lights won't go on. They're on next door, and I checked the fuses. Joe, you didn't forget to pay the bill.
Afraid I did forget, honey. I didn't have anything to pay it with. I thought they gave you a second notice.
But, Joe, we budgeted. Why didn't you have anything?
I was fired last Thursday. The boss didn't think that
I haven't been working a week and you didn't tell me.
I'm sorry, honey. I didn't want to worry you.
But you've been leaving the house the same time every morning.
I didn't want you to know until I got something new. Seemed to take it for granted I was doing so well. I just didn't want to worry you, that's all.
No, don't do anything to worry me. Just have the light company turn off our lights without notice.
I'll have them on again tomorrow.
But how?
I said I'd have them on tomorrow, and that's enough.
Don't speak to me like that.
Well, stop putting me to a third degree. Now I suppose you want to know why I got fired. Well, it's because I'm a lousy salesman, that's why. You're the only one that thinks I'm a personality kid.
Don't worry, Joe. You'll get something better, something with a real future. And about the bill, I've got some money saved.
I said I'd pay that bill.
He paid the bill all right by pawning 2 pieces of his very fine leather luggage. That was our first quarrel. A couple of weeks later, Joe was in the yard cutting the lawn when Stevie came home from school.
Hi, Stevie. How's school?
It's fun, but, Daddy, all the kids have cowboy boots. Can I have them?
Well, let's see. Let me think about that, little Stevie. No, we might as well start in being frank about these things right now. Come here, son.
Jimmy's got cowboy boots with red and yellow.
Stevie, I want you to listen to me. There are times when our family doesn't have much money and we have to get along without some of the things we'd like to have. Some other times we'll have a little extra money and get some of those extra things.
Then I can't have those cowboy boots?
I'm afraid not, fella. Not right now.
Yes, you will, honey. We'll go downtown and get you some cowboy boots Saturday.
Mary, I didn't know that
I'm going to get some boots. I'm going to get some boots. I gotta go tell Jimmy.
You shouldn't have told him to get those boots just after I said we couldn't afford it.
All the other youngsters are wearing them, and I don't want him to know we can't afford it.
You've got to learn sometime. Well, there are things we can't have just for the asking.
Well, he's too young to learn now.
All right. But how can we pay for them out of my unemployment money?
I got a little money from my folks this week. They sent it to help outfit Stevie for school.
Oh, I didn't know.
The way his shoulders drooped when he turned for me to walk into the house. I wanted to run after him and cradle his head in my arms like I do my other little boy when he's hurt. But I didn't. Weeks passed and Joe couldn't seem to find a job. At least not the kind I wanted him to have.
But, Mary, every time I think I can get a job, you say it isn't suitable. What do you want to live like anyway?
Joe, it's not me I'm thinking of. I just want to be sure Stevie gets all the things he needs.
I see. I'll keep looking for the career job so Stevie can get all the things you think he needs.
He tried, but that was all. Finally, I spoke to Mr. Emerson, and he offered me my job back. I thought Joe would raise the roof, but...
So you're going back to work, huh?
Just until you get something good again.
Oh, I guess that's best. No need for Stevie to do without things because I can't provide.
That's all he said. Somehow I'd have felt better if he'd objected, even insisted I didn't take the job. So I returned to work for the first time since we were married. The third evening after work when I came home, the house was strangely quiet.
Joe? Joe! Stevie!
Stevie, honey, what's the matter?
Oh, Daddy.
What about Daddy?
He went away to go and sleep.
No, Stevie. Honey, did he leave anything? A letter from Mommy? Oh, here it is on the table. Dearest Mary.
I know you'll think I'm a quitter and despise me for leaving this way, but it's going to be hard enough saying goodbye to Stevie. And I'm afraid you might change my mind, and we'd all be worse off. I can't stay. Can't, Mary, because I can't be the things you wanted your husband and Stevie's father to be. I'll never do big things. In fact, I don't especially want to. I don't want to be anything more than just an ordinary guy. Bus driver, mechanic, something like that. That's the whole story. Goodbye. And good luck. And if by some strange chance I do get ahead, I'll try to make up for this. I promise. I'll love you always. Joe.
That's how Joe walked out of our lives, less than 10 months after we had entered. At first, I didn't see how I could bear it. But life must go on. And then, of course, there was Stevie. I've written all Joe's relatives, all his friends. They haven't heard from him either. Poor Stevie. He's tried to keep up a brave front, but many times at night I hear him crying himself to sleep. Sometimes, at first, I cried in bed too. Then I started telling myself, at least this way, Stevie won't grow up under the influence of a father utterly lacking in ambition. And I got some satisfaction in knowing that when Jimmy Webster got a fur-lined aviator cap, my boy got a fur-lined aviator cap too. That is, I did until last Saturday, when Jimmy came over to our house.
You make swell cookies, Mrs. Regan.
Thank you, Jimmy. You'll get some soon as they're finished.
When's Mr. Regan coming back?
I don't know. Jimmy, does Stevie talk about him much?
No. You don't talk about him at all. I wish he was my dad.
Jimmy!
I guess that's wrong, but Mr. Regan always played with us kids. Showed us how to throw a ball, right way to hold a bat, things like that. My dad hardly even talks to me. I don't think he even likes me.
Oh, your daddy loves you. Well, why do you suppose he's always getting you all those nice presents and those swell clothes?
If he loves me, why doesn't he act like Mr. Regan?
Jimmy, you've got to love your own father. If he doesn't seem to pay enough attention to you, remember he's a very important man and he has to keep busy.
I wish Mr. Regan was home. He's like the only dad I ever had.
It was then I finally realized the terrible thing I had done to my Stevie and to Joe. And I'd had the nerve to nag him for not giving Stevie the things a father should. I'd even held up Jimmy's father as an example. Poor Joe. He must be feeling lonely, too. I suppose he was at department store Santa Claus again this year. Somewhere. Wonder what he's doing tonight. Christmas Eve. I could almost scream the way Stevie keeps looking out the window. Stevie, don't you think it's time you went to bed?
Just a little longer, Mommy. Maybe Santa Claus will still come.
What can I say? Oh, Joe. Joe, if I could only reach you now to tell you I've learned my lesson. I don't care if we're ever rich, what kind of work you do. What counts is you're good for me and Stevie. What counts is you and Joe. Joe, it's Christmas.
Do you think Santa will come, Mom?
I hope so, Stevie. I hope so. But if he were going to, he'd be here by now. It would be like Joe to come back tonight for Stevie. Maybe if he comes back for Stevie, I'm getting this day for me. Oh, Joe.
Mommy, what's the matter?
Nothing, honey. Nothing at all. Okay, it's off to bed with you.
Are you crying because Santa Claus didn't come?
Never mind. I'll get it.
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
John, I knew you'd come. I knew it.
It's Santa Claus! Santa Claus!
Oh, watch it, my beard.
Santa Claus's whiskers are coming off. It's Daddy! Daddy! Daddy!
Hello, son.
Mommy, Daddy Santa Claus!
Yes, dear. Daddy Santa Claus. You're back to stay, aren't you, Joe?
Yes, I'm back. And Mary, I'm sorry I left the way I did. I was a coward. From now on, I'll try to be the kind of a guy you want.
No, dear. From now on, just be yourself. That's the kind of guy I want.
Oh, Mary. Oh, enough of this mush stuff. I gotta go about my business. Stevie been a good boy?
Perfect. Just like his daddy.
Well, that's too bad. Well, let's see what we got here.
Ooh, a racer!
With big rubber tires.
Thank you, Santa. Daddy? Daddy?
What is it, fella?
I know where you've been.
You do?
You've been up at the North Pole making toys.
You know, I couldn't have thought of a better explanation.
That's the only one I ever want to hear.
Said in chat.
This is Shirley Temple again. You know, poets often have the gift of expressing our feelings far better than we can ourselves. Here's a poem I think you'll like. It's called The Flight of Prayer. Who knows what wonders happen when we pray, what forces stir, what golden blessings run toward us in glad feet each time we say, in all sincerity, Thy will be done. We cannot follow with our mortal sight the flight of prayer. We cannot hope to chart its secret course. But suddenly a light dawns and the weight is lifted from our heart. For prayer has powers that we know not of to heal and comfort, to provide and bless. All the resources of eternal love move to sustain us in the hour of stress, clothing us safely round with life and power in even the darkest and most urgent hour. Thank you for being with us, and God bless you.
Our thanks to Pat O'Brien, Linda Johnson, and Bobby Driscoll for their fine performances, and to Jack Lyman for writing our play. Max Sayre scored and conducted the music. This transcribed production of Family Theater Incorporated was directed by David Young. Next week, our Family Theater star will be Margaret O'Brien in Blessed Are They. Your host will be Dick Haynes. This series of the Family Theater broadcasts is made possible by the thousands of you who felt the need for this kind of program and by the Mutual Broadcasting System, which has responded to this need. Be with us next week at this same time when Margaret O'Brien and Dick Haynes will star on Family Theater. Tony Lofrano speaking.
Okay, that was A Daddy for Christmas, and as I said, I believe the actual storyline took place towards the Great Depression. I can't remember offhand, but that their first program was A Daddy for Christmas. I believe up next is a Blondie and Dagwood Christmas. And if you guys want me to, I can play a game while the radio programs are playing. That's entirely up to everybody that's here listening. If you'd rather see me play a game while these programs play, I can do that. If not, I'll just move on to the next program.
Don't touch that dial. Listen to...
And now, since our weekly visit to the Bumsteads falls on Christmas Day, we find them surrounded by ex-Christmas packages and what came out of them. Dagwood's on the couch, relaxing after dinner, and somewhere, not quite far enough off, Baby beats a toy drum. And at the desk, Blondie is checking over some figures of her own.
Dagwood. I've been going over the list of people who sent us Christmas cards. And the list of people we sent cards to. You can't win, Dagwood. It's always the same way. This year we sent 3 cards to people who didn't send us any. Oh, well. We got really bad, isn't it, Dagwood? 6 people sent us cards that we didn't send any to. Well, we could send 3 extras we got to 3 people we didn't, and come out 3 ahead. No, we didn't. We'll have to make up for it. Look, Blondie, let's not start figuring on next year yet, huh? I'm all fired out for next year. Hey, who gave Baby ruffling that drum? It's the fellow. That was. Oh, no. I'll bet it was. Just because I gave that little Alvin a bugle. Hey, look at Daddy. Yes, we see you, baby. Yeah, we hear you too, baby. Look, go be a parade over in front. Oh, now, Dagwood, it's tricky. I know, but I was up practically all night helping Santa Claus. Did you feel, Daddy? Huh? Oh, sure. Is somebody was so mad about? That baby? Daddy never gets mad. Not last night. I heard him. Oh, dear. What did you hear, baby? Well, I heard a big something that woke me up. And I heard Santa howling that he stepped on a roller skate. Oh, yeah. You must remember not to leave those skates around, baby. Suppose Santa did get home and never came back. I heard you get up, baby. They put strong stuff in those bombs, don't they? Don't they ever break? Because I'm such a good dreamer. And I'll just try to hide the letter. No hurry. Boy, I'm tired. If it was trial, I bet I'd sleep for weeks. What are you figuring now, Blondie? Oh, just making sure we sent a present to everybody who sent us one. We didn't. Yeah, we sent one extra, too. To Debbie. Can you imagine that guy not giving us a present this year, Blondie? Oh, I guess he just overlooked it. He did not. He's just too mean. Oh, no, Dagwood. It was just a mistake. You know who Dinners reminds me of? That old bird in Dickens' Christmas Carol. Scrooge. Yeah, boy, that's good. You know Aunt Bessie sent Baby a copy of that story. And while you were getting dinner, I read it to Baby. I read it twice. And Scrooge reminded me of Dinners both times. Oh, golly, here comes the drum again. Well, I'll try to keep Baby quiet if you want a little help. A little nap? I'm short a whole night's sleep now. Baby, not so loud. Poor Daddy's tired. That's not. Well, but Mommy, thinking about all I have to play with. Well, it's Justin. You had lots of toys. Yes. I'm so broken now, Mommy. Why did you break the quiet ones first? Here's your toy telephone. You could play with that. Make believe you were calling up somebody. Okay, Mommy. Oh, I put my gun down. Listen, baby. Call up Mommy on that toy phone and ask her to keep the house quiet, huh? Daddy wants a nap. Okay, Daddy. Hello. Is that you, Mommy? Hello. Yes, baby. Hey, Mommy. Is it okay for Daddy to go to sleep in the chat with the children? Well, on Christmas, I guess it is. Okay, bye. Hey, Mommy. Read me a story. Well, what would you like? That book on the empty set. Christmas Carol. Daddy said he read you that twice. I did. It's a fine story. But twice in one day is enough. I know it by heart. You read it, Mommy. Oh, all right. I'll read softly for Daddy to sleep. Yeah, that's your word talk about the Luna Food, Mommy. All right. It says, Scrooge. Squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous dinner. Hard and sharp as flint. My goodness. I think Daddy does know it by heart. Reminds me of Dinners. Oh, Mommy. Well, he carries his own low temperature always about with him. He iced his office on dog days and didn't thaw at 1 degree at Christmas. The heaviest rain and snow and hail and sleet could The door of Scrooge's townhouse was open, so that he might keep his eye upon his clerk, who, in a dismal little cell, was copying letters. Hello, Scrooge and Gilbert's Construction Company. Mr. Scrooge is in conference. Here's his Dad Cratchit. Dad Cratchit. Dad Cratchit. You sound like Gilbert. Ah? Who's Gilbert? The man who sounds like you. What's the matter with you? Are you sleeping on my time? I don't know. Yeah, I feel kind of funny. We got traffic, Cratchit. When I came in, you were talking to me. Oh, no, sir. I was talking on the phone. Oh, yeah? What's that? Why, this thing right here. And I... Hey, I never heard of a phone. Oh, my mistake. I guess they haven't been invented yet. No. If they had been, I wouldn't have one. Too expensive. There's something mighty funny about it. Ain't funny for me, Cratchit. Wake up! I wish I could. Trouble is, I keep this office too hot for you.
Hot? Look at the frost on the windows, Mr. Scrooge.
Nonsense! That's just a little fog outside. It's foggy all over London today.
London? Oh, yeah.
You act tipsy, Cratchit.
Huh?
Been drinking the ink?
No, sir. I never drink ink. Anyway, it's frozen.
Nonsense. Look at the blaze in that fireplace.
Oh, that's nothing but some red paper with a candle behind it.
Well, use your imagination, Cratchit.
Look, Mr. Scrooge, it's Christmas Eve. Couldn't I have a real fire? Just one lump of coal?
No.
Oh.
I can't get at the coal. I'm not going to open the safe again today.
Well, then, can I have a sip of water?
Now it's water.
Well, just a sip.
Next it'll be 2 sips, and then a glass. And then you'll want to bathe in the stuff.
Never mind. The water is frozen, too.
Good. It'll last longer that way. Now get back to your stool and get to work.
Yes, sir.
Cratchit!
Oh, no, yes, sir?
What's the idea of 2 candles burning at once? One each side of the ledger.
Why, that's a little invention of mine, Mr. Scrooge. I can see both sides of the ledger at once that way.
Pah! You only work on one side at a time. There. One's enough.
Listen. That sounds like a drum.
Nonsense, that's a horse. It's some fool wasting his money on a hansom cab. Probably my nephew, Fred.
Well, it must be nice to take a cab when it's so foggy.
Last time Fred took a cab, he parked double in front of Buckingham Palace, and I had to fix his ticket.
Listen, they must have met another cab.
The traffic in London today is a menace to life. I'll write a letter to the Times.
It's speaking of your nephew, Fred, reminds me. He sent a message today.
If he wants money, he won't get it.
No, sir. He just said, Merry Christmas. He sent it collect.
Merry humbug. Pistache, fiddle, faddle, Christmas. Bah.
Oh, come, Mr. Scrooge.
Don't Mr. Scrooge me. I suppose you're leading up to asking for the day off tomorrow.
Yes, sir, if quite convenient.
Well, it isn't. What are you putting your tippet on now for?
It's after closing time, sir, and it's a long walk to Camden Town, now that the horse trams have stopped running.
What? Stopped? Why wasn't I told?
Well, right after you got on the board of directors, Mr. Scrooge, the tram stopped running.
Why? What happened?
Well, you gave orders to cut down the horses' hay.
I put 'em in training, that's all. Gave 'em 1 handful less every day. That way they didn't miss it. And in a few weeks, I'd have 'em used to no hay.
Yes, sir. But just when they were getting used to it, they all died.
Just lack of cooperation, that's all. Well, don't stand talking, Cratchit. If you're going, get out.
Yes,
you're wasting the candle.
Yes, sir. Could I have my week's wages now? Christmas shopping, you know.
A fool and his money are soon parted, Cratchit. You'll never be rich if you spend as fast as you get it.
Well, my family...
You can't afford a family.
No.
Utter extravagance. Oh, but here you are. 5 shillings and 2 halfpenny. Just for loafing here all last week.
Thank you, sir. But it should be 5 shillings 3 halfpenny.
Huh? Why the extra penny?
I loafed half a day on Sunday, too.
Get out! And be here all the earlier day after tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dag.
Dag who?
Daggone, I forgot to wish you Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge.
Merry Poppycock, Cratchit. Scaram.
Yes, sir.
Daddy still asleep, Baby Dumpling?
Sure, Mommy. He thinks he's running in his dreams. Look at his legs.
He thinks he's sliding. Maybe he's dreaming about where Bob Cratchit slid downhill with the boys 20 times before he ran all the way home to Camden Town and Mrs. Cratchit and Tiny Tim.
Hey, Blondie Cratchit. Where's Tiny Dumpling?
Here I am, Father.
Well, Dad Cratchit, what kept you so long tonight?
Why, I ran all the way home. Who's that in the chimney corner?
Cratchit!
Oh, why, it's Mr. Scrooge. How did you get here ahead of me?
I flew, Cratchit. Flew through the air.
Oh, you must be spoofing, sir.
I never spoof. I had a nasty experience. I found a ghost in my bedroom.
Huh?
I was counting my money before going to bed, and when I took the padlock off my wallet...
I know. A moth flew out.
Yes. No! Wasn't a moth. It was a ghost. And it didn't come out of my wallet. It wafted through the wall. But that's not the worst.
No?
No.
Oh.
This ghost said 3 other ghosts would come for me. They're going to take me for a ride.
Oh, my. Gangster ghost?
No, Christmas ghosts. The first one will be there when the clock strikes 1. But I'll fool him. I won't be there. I'll be here.
Well, that's fooling them. Oh, hey, maybe they will follow you here. Oh, there goes the clock.
Oh, and here comes the ghost. I hear him on the stairs.
Oh, maybe just one of the neighbors.
No, it's the ghost. Coming for me. In a minute, he'll knock on that door.
Oh, if you're going to knock, knock.
Why, that is one of our neighbors.
Sure, Fezziwig Fuddle. He's a card, too.
Don't let him in.
I am in, old Scrooge Ball.
That sounds like Fezziwig Fuddle.
Yeah, and looks a little like him. But it kind of looks like a ghost, too.
Well, that just goes to show you.
What do you want with me?
Why, buddy, I'm the senior member of the firm of Ghost, Tours Deluxe. Have a card, chum.
Where are the other members of the firm, huh?
All the other boys will be along later.
Huh.
Now we have tours of Christmas past, present, and future. I head up the past department myself. Ready for a little excursion, Scrooge UOG?
No, I don't want to go back in the past. I've been there.
Well, you never know the old place now.
Ha!
Come on, this is for free.
Oh, free? Any tips?
Nary a tip, pal. Come on, I'll show you some nice spirits.
No, you'll get me back in the past and then make me walk home.
Oh, no tricks on our personally conducted ghost rides, friend. That wouldn't be showing the right spirit. You get it?
Look, Mr. Scrooge, why don't you go with him? He makes me nervous.
Yes, Mr. Scrooge. A little fresh air would do you good.
Don't worry, folks. He'll go with me, okay, when the clock strikes 1.
Oh, it's going to strike now.
I'm not going. I'll hold on to Dad Cratchit here.
No, listen, let go.
Look at Mommy. The ghost is saving.
So is Mr. Scrooge.
So am I. Help!
You're all gone, Mommy.
Oh,
There are several reasons why so many thousands of smokers are turning to slow-burning Camel cigarettes. Extra mildness is one, also extra coolness, and the extra fine flavor and aroma of Camel's finer, more expensive tobaccos. But don't overlook this fact. Slow-burning Camels also give you economy. Recent impartial laboratory tests tell the whole story. In these tests, Camels burn 25% slower than the average of the 15 other of the largest selling brands tested, slower than any of them. Now that means Camels give a smoking plus equal on the average to 5 extra smokes per pack. So join those who are turning to slow burning Camel cigarettes. And to all of you who received Camels for Christmas, may you enjoy more pleasure per puff and more puffs per pack in America's #1 cigarette, Camels. And now, back in the Bumstead home, we find Blondie still reading to Baby Dumpling, and Dagwood still on the couch, dreaming that he is Dag Cratchit. He seems to be having a double feature dream, so let's catch the last half.
Hey, let go, Scrooge! Oh! Hey, Scrooge. Open your eyes. We're back home again.
Well, Dad Cratchit, you gave me a turn, going out with a perfect stranger like that ghost.
I couldn't help it, Blondie.
I see what spoiled your trip now, Mr. Scrooge. Remorse.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the next trip will be better.
The next? Oh, I do show up?
Oh.
Listen.
Yeah, here comes the next one. The ghost of Christmas present.
Why, that sounds like the Fezziwig Puddle ghost again.
Come in.
I am in, buddy. I just went through the wall.
You're the same one who was here before. I thought you were the ghost of Christmas past.
Spook when you're spoken to, Scrooge. You see, our firm is pretty busy right now, and I have to double up on my route.
So now you're the ghost of Christmas present, huh?
No, the way old Scrooge has been acting, he ain't gonna get any Christmas presents. You get it? Oh, I'm hot as a firecracker tonight.
Well, if you're a firecracker, why don't you go off? How's that? Get it?
No.
Oh. Well, look, leave me out of this next trip, huh, will you?
What's the matter? Did you like the ride?
Well, you know how it is. I'm not used to flying over housetops with ghosts.
Ghosts fly a little high for you, eh? Well, around Christmas time, you've got to expect high spirits. Oh, I got $1 million.
Huh? You got $1 million? Well, now, maybe we can do business.
We're going to do business, Pop, my way. Get ready to really step out when the clock strikes 1.
Again? I don't know what's got into that clock tonight.
Listen, I don't want to see any more spooks.
Why not? You're kind of a shady character yourself. Ooh, get ready. There goes the clock.
No, I won't go.
Don't grab me this time. Hold on to the table. Oh, he's gone.
So is the table. Oh, look.
Yeah, the ghost sent back the table. Well, we'll have something to eat Christmas dinner off of anyway.
Yes, but we haven't anything in the house for Christmas dinner.
You mean there isn't any little snack at all in the icebox?
Icebox? What's that?
Oh, I forgot. That's another thing they haven't invented yet.
What will it be when it is invented?
Oh, boy. Why, it'll be something to keep food in. All kinds of food and sandwich material. Boy, can I make a sandwich when I have the stuff.
It's a shame we're so poor, Dad Cratchit.
Yeah, no Christmas dinner. I tried to borrow one of those 2 crows the chimney sweep caught, but it didn't work.
He needed them for his own Christmas dinner, I guess.
Yeah. He said his wife's folks were coming over.
Well, don't you care, Dad Cratchit. We're better off than poor Mr. Scrooge. Imagine being haunted by flying ghosts like that.
Yeah. Hey, listen. It's one of the ghost boys again. Oh, what does he want now? Scrooge isn't here anymore.
Well, open the door and see what he wants, Dad Cratchit. It makes me nervous when he floats through the wall.
Okay, I'm coming.
Ha! Fooled you, didn't I?
Why, it's Mr. Scrooge.
Why, Mr. Scrooge, how did you get away from that last ghost?
Yeah, they weren't ghosts at all.
No?
No. Just something I ate.
Oh. You mean you were dreaming?
That must have been it.
But how did we get into your dream?
Anything can get into a dream, Blondie Cratchit. Look, you want to see what I can do? Look, my arms are empty, aren't they?
Yes.
Well, abracadabra, hocus pocus. Now look.
Gosh.
A turkey.
What a turkey. It's the biggest bird I ever saw.
I told you so. I can produce all the fixings, too, because I'm in your dream now.
Hey, Mr. Scrooge, you've changed a lot since I last saw you.
Well, I'll tell you, Dad Cratchit. When I woke up from my dream, I knew I'd been stingy all my life. I was so glad to discover I still had a chance to celebrate Christmas as it should be celebrated that I went around yelling a Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy New Year to all the world. Ho! Whoops! Ho!
You did?
Yeah. Silly, wasn't it?
Oh, I don't know. It's lots better than being well.
Say it, grouchy. I know. Well, that's all over for me. Why, I'm so generous now, it hurts. I'm loose as ashes.
Yeah?
Definitely spendthrift. Oh. Why, I went down to the office and lit 2 candles.
Oh, goodness.
Not only that, but I'm going to let them burn all night.
Oh.
Attaboy.
And you know what, Dad Cratchit?
No, what?
Well, I lit a real fire in the fireplace. Both lumps of coal. Bingo, like that.
Gosh.
And then when they were burning good, I went back to the safe and I took out the mortgage I hold over this house you live in.
The mortgage?
Uh-huh. And I carried it over to the fire. Oh, Mr. Scrooge, did you burn the mortgage? Well, no, but I gave it a pretty bad scorching. Oh, well, say, thanks, Mr. Scrooge. Don't mention it, my boy. Hi, what a fine fellow you are, Dag Cratchit. Huh? I'm going to raise your wages.
Oh, Mr. Scrooge.
I insist. Now, let's eat that turkey. It has to be cooked yet. Why, it is cooked. Didn't you notice?
Oh, my. When did that happen? And look, Dag Cratchit, the table's all fixed.
I fixed that, too.
Oh, and when we're all through eating, will the dishes wash themselves?
Why, positively. I keep telling you, Blondie Cratchit, anything can happen tonight.
Oh.
Golly, a raise and a turkey? Thanks, Mr. Scrooge. Say, you're the best boss in the world. From now on, Dag Cratchit, that's what I'm going to be. The top. Why, I'd rather work for you than the WPA. Hey, listen, the bell.
The Christmas bell.
Hooray for Christmas! Hooray for you, too! Hey, wait, that's an electric bell. They aren't invented yet. Hey, wait, Scrooge. Don't fade away like that. Wait, Blondie. Where are you going?
Oh, my goodness. That doorbell is waking Daddy up, Baby Dumpling. Hurry and open the door. It's Mr. Dithers, Mommy.
Hello, Blondie. Where's Bumstead?
My, what a nice surprise, Mr. Dithers. Why, there's Dagwood on the couch. He's been sleeping. Dreaming.
Don't go away.
I'm not going anywhere. I just came in.
Yeah, best boss a man ever had.
How's that? Does he mean me?
Oh, why, yes, of course.
Well, I never knew just how Bumstead felt about me before.
Oh.
Hooray! Hooray for my boss, Mr. Scrooge.
Huh? Oh. What did he call me? The Stooge?
No. Maybe I'd better wake Dagwood up.
I'll wake him. Bumstead!
Oh, yeah, I'm coming. I'll put out the candle.
Candle? What candle? Wake up, Bumstead.
Wake up, Daddy. Yes, wake up, dear.
Oh, hey, what's the matter? Where am I?
At home?
Oh, yeah.
You're still asleep. I'll get my drum.
Go out to my car, Baby Dumpling. There's a present for you out there.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Dag, snap out of it. Huh? Remember me?
Oh, sure. Oh, hello, Mr. Dithers. Say, thanks for the turkey.
Turkey?
What turkey?
Oh, no, that was in my dream. Biggest turkey I ever saw.
You would dream about food, Dag.
Not only food. Guys, that was a funny dream. Want to hear it, huh?
Some other time, Dag. Right now, I want to give you a present.
Oh, a present?
Yep. Held it back till today to surprise you. Here it is, a bonus check.
Oh, Dagwood, look at the figure on that check.
For me?
Yep.
From you?
Certainly.
I'm still dreaming.
Why, Dagwood, that's not nice. Just look at that check.
Yeah, I see it. Hey, didn't you make a mistake?
I've made a good many, Bumstead, in the past. But, I want you to know, Bumstead, that the J.C. Dithers Company appreciates the fine spirit you showed. A very fine spirit of cooperation and loyalty to our interests. Therefore, in appreciation of your work and to promote the welfare of your peaceful little home, I say peaceful little home.
Baby, where did you get that bass drum?
Quiet, baby! Sorry. What were you saying, Mr. Dithers?
Never mind. Take the check and have a good time. Well, I gotta get home to Corey now. See you later. And oh, Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas!
Thanks for the check!
Thanks for the bass drum, too!
Oh, welcome!
Well, Dagwood, I hope you're ashamed of yourself now.
Me? Why?
Oh, just before you went to sleep, you said Mr. Dithers reminded you of old Scrooge.
Well, what of it? Scrooge turned out all right. So did Dithers.
Hey, Daddy, can I take my new bass drum over to Elvin Fuddles?
Sure, why not? Let's all go over to the Fuddles.
Now, Dagwood, maybe the Fuddles will relax after their Christmas dinner. They may want quiet.
Relax? Quiet? On Christmas? Oh, no, come on. We'll serenade them. Hey, give me that bass drum, baby.
Now, Dagwood.
Well, he can have his little drum, and you take the tin trumpet off the tree, Blondie.
Well, I'd rather play than listen. Come on.
Here we go. We're a parade. We'll go over and wish the Fuddles Merry Christmas.
And the whole neighborhood. And the whole world.
Right. Merry Christmas, everybody.
From Blondie.
And Dagwood.
And Baby Dumpling. Merry Christmas!
Blondie is played by Penny Singleton and Dagwood by Arthur Lake, the Columbia Picture Stars. And so, till next Monday, we leave the Bumsteads, Blondie, and Dagwood. But the makers of Camel cigarettes have other radio treats for you during the week. Tomorrow night, over these same stations, you can listen to the music of Bob Crosby and the best Dixieland band in the land with the Ink Spots as his special guests. And if you like swing, well, you'd better make a date with your radio for Saturday night, when Benny Goodman and the world's greatest swing band with Mildred Bailey bring you another musical caravan. That's a tip for your radio pleasure. And for your smoking pleasure, let us suggest that you try Camels. You'll find more pleasure per puff, more puffs per pack. Our Blondie Orchestra is directed by Billy Arts, who also creates the special musical effects. This is Bill Goodwin saying Merry Christmas for the makers of Camel cigarettes. Good night, all. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Christmas Carol.
I need to actually change this. I need to actually remove this one and put the version I want it to have here, which is a pretty long version. So let me go back, and the one I actually wanted to add is a two-part one. So let's see here. It's actually Campbell's Playhouse that I actually want to play now. So let me go and open it. If I can find it. It's actually a two-part one. We'll put it before It's a Wonderful Life, which I'm going to finish up with.
The Mutual Broadcasting System, in cooperation with Family Theater Incorporated, presents transcribed A Daddy for Christmas. Starring...
There.
The makers of Campbell Soup present The Campbell Playhouse. Orson Welles, producer.
Good evening, this is Orson Welles. There are clearly a number of ways in which a Christmas carol could be introduced. Myself, I am most struck by the happy fortune that enables us on this Christmas Eve to present Mr. Lionel Barrymore, the best-loved actor of our time, in the world's best-loved Christmas story, A Christmas Carol. When Charles Dickens presented this little story to the world almost 100 years ago, it found an instant response in the hearts of people everywhere who saw in it their favorite fictional chronicle of what Christmas is and what Christmas means to all the simple people of the earth. From the day of its first printing, families have been innumerable in which there has remained unbroken the tradition that the reading of A Christmas Carol was an item indispensable to a proper observance of the most important of days. It is the American way, as we know, to establish traditions quickly where popular instinct and sentiment pronounce them sound. And so it is that today, actually only the 5th anniversary of Mr. Lionel Barrymore's first playing of the part of Ebenezer Scrooge for the Campbell Playhouse, there is, I think, in all America nothing more eagerly awaited, more firmly rooted in the hearts of the radio family that numbers millions, than this yearly performance of A Christmas Carol. A Christmas Carol, as Charles Dickens wrote it, has by common consent long been a classic. Mr. Lionel Barrymore's appearance in it is rapidly becoming one. And now, just before A Christmas Carol, Ernest Chappell has a special Christmas greeting from the makers of Campbell Soups. Mr. Chappell?
Thank you, Orson Welles. As the old year draws toward its close, we of Campbell's feel a bond of warmth and gratitude toward each of you, our friends. For you see, in homes everywhere throughout the land, Campbell's soups have been welcomed. Day by day and week by week, you have placed confidence in us and in the foods we make. And there isn't anything we appreciate more deeply than the fact that so many of you have elected to let Campbell's make your soups for you. And so when Christmas comes, we look about to find some way to show our appreciation, some Christmas present by which to say thank you. The gift we chose 5 Christmases ago and have chosen each year since has become a part of Christmas to many and many a family. It has become a Christmas custom, as Mr. Wells said, to gather round the radio to hear and to enjoy a Christmas carol. And since it is Christmas Eve, we hope, too, that the younger members of the family are permitted to stay up and listen before dreams and visit of Santa. We get a great deal of pleasure planning and preparing this Christmas gift, and now it's ready. Off come the wrappings, off come the tags that say, please do not open till Christmas. Out comes the card. To you, from Campbell's. And here is the gift itself.
Marley was dead to begin with. There's no doubt whatever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it. And Scrooge's name was good upon change for anything he chose to put his hand to. Old Marley was as dead as a doornail. Scrooge knew he was dead? Of course he did. Scrooge and Marley were partners for I don't know how many years. But he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone with Scrooge. A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. And once upon a time, of all the good days in the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house, a grim, cheerless place if ever there was one. The door of Scrooge's counting house was open that he might keep his eye upon his clerk, Bob Cratchit, who in a cold and dismal little cell beyond worked at his ledgers.
Merry gentlemen, let nothing you despair. 23, 26, 29, 9 carry 2. Christmas Day, 11, 13, 17, 7.
Bob Cratchit!
Yes, Mr. Scrooge?
Stop that infernal caterwauling.
Yes, sir.
9, 15, 17, 29.
Impudence. Singing their idiotic Christmas carols at my very door. Run! Get away from my door! Go somewhere else and bellow your blasted carols or I'll give you in charge.
Sorry, Governor. It's an old custom at Christmas time, you know.
Yes, and I don't want any of your old customs. Take your fellow fools and go away. Christmas. Blah.
Right, sir. Merry Christmas anyway, sir.
Ah. Now you get that letter from Higgins and Blackthorn, Cratchit, and then I want you to finish posting this ledger. And after that, you can pop over to Fothergill's and tell Ephraim Fothergill you've come after the 17 shillings and 6pence he's owed me since Michaelmas. And tell him I shall have a constable over there if he doesn't pay up at once.
Fothergill's wife has been ill, sir.
Oh, what do I care about his wife? I want my 17 and 6.
I just thought it being Christmas, sir.
Christmas. You mention that word to me once more, Bob Cratchit, and I'll...
Merry Christmas, Uncle. Merry Christmas, Bob.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Fred.
God save you, Uncle.
Humbug.
Christmas a humbug, Uncle. Now, I'm sure you don't mean that.
I mean just that. Exactly that. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? What reason have you? You're poor enough.
Well, what right have you to be dismal about Christmas, Uncle? You're rich enough.
Yeah.
Now, Uncle, don't be cross.
Well, what else can I be when I live in such a world of fools? What's Christmas to you but a time for paying bills without money? Merry Christmas. time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. He should.
Uncle?
Now, nephew, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it, but you don't keep it, Uncle.
Well, let me leave it alone then. What do you want? A Christmas gift, I've no doubt.
I came to wish you a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
A Merry Christmas. Much good may Christmas do you. Much good it ever has done you.
There are many things from which I derive good, by which I have not profited materially, I dare say, Uncle. Christmas among the rest. But I have always thought of Christmas time as a good time. A kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. And therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe it has done me good and will do me good. And I say, God bless it. God bless Christmas. Hurrah!
Let me hear another sound out of you there, Bob Cratchit, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. As to you, nephew, I wonder you don't go into Parliament. You talk enough nonsense.
Oh, don't be angry, Uncle. I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why can't we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry you feel that way. Well, I've tried. A Merry Christmas to you, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year, too.
Humbug.
And a Merry Christmas to you, Bob, and the missus, and the tiny kid. Thank you, Mr. Craig. Same to you, sir. Good day, sir. Good day, Bob.
Nonsense. Twaddle. Flummery. They're talking of Christmas and not 2 sixpences to jingle together in his trousers pocket. Hey, you there, Bob Cratchit. Come here. What are you doing there?
Only putting a bit more coal in the fire, Mr. Scrooge. Seeing it's so cold in there, sir.
You put that coal back into the scuttle. A fire. A fire, indeed. I can tell you, if you use coal at that rate, you and I will soon be parting company, Bob Cratchit. You understand that? There's many a young fella like your situation, you know.
I'm sorry, sir. My fingers were getting a little stiff with the cold.
Well, then put on your mittens. There's someone at the door. Go on, see who it is.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
This is the firm of Scrooge and Marley.
Yes, sir.
I should like to see the head of the firm, if I may.
Oh, very good, sir.
What is it?
A gentleman to see you, Mr. Scrooge.
Huh?
Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Marley's been dead these 7 years tonight. I'm Scrooge.
Well, now, Mr. Scrooge, at this season of the year, it's only fitting that we who are more fortunate should raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of want. You may not believe it, sir, but many thousands are now in want of common necessities, and hundreds of thousands are in want of the simplest comforts.
Are there no prisons?
Well, there are plenty of prisons, sir.
And the workhouses. They're still in operation, I trust?
I wish I could say they are not, but they are, sir.
The treadmill and the poor law are in full vigor, then?
Both very busy, sir.
I'm glad to hear that. I was afraid from what you said at first that something had occurred to stop them in their useful course.
No, sir, all these institutions that you mention are flourishing. But it's nevertheless true that some additional provision for the poor and the destitute must be made. A few of us upon change are endeavoring to raise such a fund, you see. And what shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
Oh, I see. You wish to be anonymous, sir.
I wish to be let alone. I don't make merry myself at Christmas time, and I can't afford to help make a lot of idle people merry. I help to support the establishments that take care of the poor. They cost enough. Let those who are badly off go there.
Many can't go there, sir. And many would rather die.
Then my advice to them is to do so and decrease the surplus population. Besides, I've only your word for it that all this is so.
It's the truth, Mr. Scrooge.
Well, so be it then. It's not my business. It's enough for a man to understand his own business and not to interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon, sir.
I quite understand, Mr. Scrooge. Good
Cratchit.
afternoon.
Show this gentleman out.
Yes, sir. This way, sir, please. Sir, I couldn't help overhearing. I should like to contribute tuppence.
Cratchit!
Yes, sir. It isn't much, but it's all I can afford. But there are others in worse situation than I.
You're a generous fellow. I wish I might say so of your employer.
Cratchit!
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Cratchit!
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yes, sir.
Close the door.
Yes, sir. 24, 31. 1 and carry 3. New scarlet tippet for Tiny Tim. A comb for Martha. 33. 3 and carry 3. A hair ribbon for Belinda. 4, 7, 12, 15.
Cratchit!
Yes, sir.
It's too late to have you go to Fothergill's. He'll be closed up for Christmas like these other fools. We may as well close up the place now.
Yes, sir. It is getting a little dark. Hard to see the figures.
I suppose you'll want the entire day tomorrow.
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient. And it's not fair, either. But I suppose I can't do anything about it. If I was to stop half a crown of your wages, you'd think yourself very ill-used, I'll be bound.
Well, sir,
Yeah, but you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, sir.
Once a year. Once a year, indeed. A fine excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose there's no good talking. You must have the whole day. Well, see that you're here all the earlier the next morning. You understand?
Oh, I will, sir. I will indeed. Good night, sir, and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas!
The office was closed in a twinkling, and Bob Cratchit, with the long ends of his white comforter dangling below his waist, for he boasted no greatcoat, went down a slide on Cornhill 20 times in honor of its being Christmas Eve, and then ran home to Camden Town as hard as he could pelt to play with his family at Blind Man's Buff. Scrooge, on the other hand, took his melancholy dinner in his usual melancholy tavern. Having read all the newspapers and spent the rest of the evening with his banker's book, went to his dismal house. Darkness is cheap, and Scrooge liked it. The yard was so dark that even Scrooge, who knew its every stone, had to grope with his hands through the fog and the frost to find the door. Scrooge walked through his rooms to see that all was right. Sitting room, bedroom, lumber room, all as they should be. Nobody under the table, nobody under the sofa, nobody under the bed, nobody in the closet. Closed the door. He locked himself in. He double-locked himself in. And took off his cravat, put on his dressing gown and slippers and his nightcap, and sat down before the fire to take his gruel.
Marley! I could have sworn I saw... Humbug. Marley's been dead these 7 years. Humbug. All humbug. What I need is a good night... What's that? Someone's in the brain cell. But the door's locked and double locked. Something's... It's coming. Something is... It's coming closer. Outside my door. I won't believe it. It's humbug still.
Ebenezer Scrooge. Ebenezer Scrooge.
Marley. Oh, no. What do you want with me?
I want much of you, Ebenezer.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Oh, you're very particular for a ghost. All right, then. Who were you?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Jacob Marley. But you're dead. You died 7 years ago.
7 years ago this very night.
You are a ghost, then.
What's wrong, Ebenezer? Don't you believe in me?
I do not.
You doubt your senses, Ebenezer?
Yes. Because a little thing affects them. Slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. You can't be a ghost. You may be an undigested bit of beef, or a blot of mustard, or a crumb of cheese, a fragment of an underdone potato. Yeah, there may be more gravy than grave about you, whatever you are. Humbug, I tell you. Humbug. Excuse me, Jacob. Excuse me. I do believe in you. You are a ghost, Jacob.
Thank you.
Well, why do you walk the earth, Jacob? Why do you come to me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men and travel far and wide to witness what it cannot share, but might have shared on earth and turn to happiness.
Well, tell me, Jacob, what is that chain you wear around you?
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard by my own free will. Is its pattern strange to you, Ebenezer?
Cash boxes, keys, and padlocks, ledgers, and purses.
Yours was as heavy and as long as this 7 years ago. You have labored on it since, Ebenezer.
Oh, Jacob, speak comfort to me, Jacob.
Comfort I have none to give. I cannot rest. I cannot stay. I cannot linger. Weary journeys lie before me.
You travel fast?
Yes, Ebenezer. On the wings of the wind.
7 years dead and traveling all the time?
7 years, Ebenezer. 7 years of remorse. Ebenezer, do you know that no space of regret can make amends for one life's opportunities misused?
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business! Mankind was my business. Charity, mercy, benevolence, they were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business.
Oh, Jacob, don't take on so now. Jacob.
Listen to me, Ebenezer.
I listen to you, Jacob. Go on, Jacob, now. Speak to me, but don't be so flowery.
Ebenezer, I am here to warn you that you have yet a chance and hope of escaping my fate. Do you hear that, Ebenezer?
Yes, Jacob. Yes, you always were a good friend to me, Jacob. Thanks, Jacob. But go on. How shall I escape? Oh, I'm afraid, Jacob.
You will be haunted by free spirits.
Is that the only chance and hope, Jacob?
It is your only chance and hope.
Well, then I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow, when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Ebenezer, look that for your own sake you remember what has passed between us. And remember, when the bell tolls 1, look for the first spirit.
Molly! Jacob, Molly!
Scrooge awoke. He was lying on his bed fully dressed. Suddenly the curtains of his bed were drawn aside, and Scrooge found himself face to face with the unearthly visitor who drew them as close to it as I am now to you. And I am standing in the spirit at your elbow. It was a strange figure, like a child, yet not so like a child as like an old man. Its hair, which hung about its neck and down its back, was white as if with age. And yet the face had not a wrinkle in it, and the tenderest bloom was on the skin. The arms were long and muscular, the hands the same, as if its hold were of uncommon strength.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Who's that?
Ebenezer Scrooge, I have come for you.
Are you the spirit, sir, whose coming was foretold me?
I am that spirit.
What are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Wrong past?
No, your past.
But what do you want of me? What brings you here to haunt me?
Your welfare, Ebenezer Scrooge. Rise and walk with me.
Oh, no, not out of the window. I can't do that. I'll fall down. I'm not a spirit. I'm mortal, and I'll fall.
Bear but a touch of my hand upon your heart, and you shall be upheld in more than this. Come, follow me.
Where are we? What's become of the city? There's snow upon the ground. Where are we?
These are the shadows of the things that have been. You recognize this countryside?
Oh, I know every inch of it. Every rock, every tree.
And that bleak building over there?
That building. I was a boy there. Yes, I went to school in that horrible place.
Do you recollect that path?
I could walk it blindfold.
Strange you should forget it so many years. Come, let us go closer. Look through the window into that cold, barren room. What do you see, Ebenezer Scrooge?
I see a boy.
A solitary child, neglected by his family, alone.
Yes, I see. I know that boy. Oh, I was so lonely. Poor boy.
Your lip is trembling, Scrooge. And what is that on your cheek?
It's nothing. Nothing at all. I wish it's too late now.
What's the matter?
Nothing. The waits came to my door singing Christmas carols last night, and there was a boy like that among them. A poor, pale, thin little boy in a ragged coat. I should like to have given him something, that's all.
Is that all? Come, Ebenezer Scrooge. Let us see another Christmas. Do you know this place, Ebenezer Scrooge?
Know it? Why, this is the counting house where I was apprentice. Listen. It's my old master, bless it. Old Fezziwig. My master, alive again. And hosted one of his Christmas parties. Listen to him.
Thread the needle and back to your places.
And there's Dick Wilkins. Poor Dick. Dear. Yes, and look, there's Mrs. Fezziwig herself, looking younger than any of them. And the tables all loaded with roast, and cider, and mince pie, and beer. Oh, what a jolly time we used to have.
That carefree young man with a light heart and a gay smile. Do you recognize him?
Yes. Merciful heaven. How happy I was then.
A small matter for old Fezziwig to make those silly folks so full of joy.
Small matter? Small indeed.
Isn't it? He has spent only a few pounds of your mortal money. Is that so much that he deserves praise?
It's not that, Spirit. Old Fezziwig has the power to make us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or heavy. His power lies in words and looks, and in things so tiny that it's impossible to count them up. The happiness he gives is quite as great as if it cost
What is the matter?
Oh, nothing at all, Spirit.
Something, I think.
No.
Speak.
Well, only it's just that I should like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk, Bob Cratchit. That's all.
At last and retire. Bow and curtsy. Thread the needle.
My time grows short, and we have yet another journey to make.
Where now?
Come. This is our last visit to the past, Ebenezer. Here, in this little room, with a fair young girl by your side. Do you recognize yourself, Ebenezer?
No. Spare me this.
You're older now. A man in the prime of life. Your face has begun to wear the signs of care and avarice. Your eyes are greedy, the eager, restless eyes of a miser.
No, please.
She knows it too. That girl by your side. There are tears in her eyes.
That is little, Ebenezer, to you. Very little. I know that.
Belle, have I changed toward you?
When we were engaged, we were both poor.
Was it better then? Better to be poor?
Better at least to be happy. You're changed. You were another man then.
I was a boy. Do you blame me because I've grown wiser? Have I ever tried to break our engagement?
In words, no. Never.
In what then?
In a changed nature. In an altered spirit. In everything that made my love of any value in your sight. So I release you from your promise.
Belle!
Oh, at first it may cause you pain to lose me. A very brief pain. But soon it will be dim. Like a half-remembered dream. An unprofitable dream. And you will be glad to be awake from such a dream. May you be happy in the life you have chosen, Ebenezer. For the love of him you once loved.
It's enough. Show me no more. Take me home.
These were shadows of the things that have been. That they are what they are. Do not blame me.
No more, no more.
One shadow more. Come. Do you see this man, Ebenezer Scrooge? This man might have been you. And the woman beside him, your wife. And that girl. That girl might have been your daughter, Ebenezer Scrooge. She might have called you father. She might have been a springtime in the haggard winter of your life.
Let me go. Show me no more.
Listen now while they speak, Ebenezer.
Well, I saw an old friend of yours today.
Who was it?
Yes.
How can I? Oh, I know. Mr. Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge it was. I passed his office window. It wasn't shuttered. There was a candle inside, so I couldn't help seeing him. His partner, Marley, lies at the point of death, I hear. And there Scrooge sat, all alone. Quite alone in the world, I do believe.
Spirit, I can't bear any more. Leave me. Haunt me no more. Take me back. Take me back.
King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even.
You are listening to the Campbell Playhouse, bringing you tonight the 5th annual presentation of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, produced by Orson Welles and starring Lionel Barrymore as Scrooge. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
This is the WBBM Air Theater, Wrigley Building, Chicago.
Well, this is where the radio program goes to the intermission. So, we'll take a few-minute intermission. This program, I believe, was aired either in 1929 or 1939. I can't remember offhand. It was one or the other. They used to have this play every year. Like, actually, my local radio station still plays this version every year. So, yeah. This is what they played every year around Christmas time on the radio, back in the golden age of radio. And people would gather around the radio, and this is what they would do. They'd listen to this. And my audio of me talking is now done.
And now, back to the Campbell Playhouse and our 5th annual presentation of A Christmas Carol. A Christmas present from the makers of Campbell's Soup.
On the stroke of 1, Scrooge awakened suddenly and sat him bolt upright in his own bed. You remember the words of Marley's ghost and wondered from which direction the second specter would appear. At that moment, nothing between a baby and a rhinoceros would have astonished him very much. Now, being prepared for almost anything, he was not by any means prepared for nothing. And consequently, when no shape appeared, he was taken with a violent fit of trembling. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a quarter of an hour went by, yet nothing came. Then, as he sat in his bed, he became aware gradually of a great blaze of ruddy light that seemed to shine upon him from the adjoining room. He got up softly and shuffled in his slippers to the door. It was his own sitting room. No doubt about that. But it had undergone a surprising transformation. The walls and ceiling were so hung with living green that it looked a perfect grove. From every pot of which bright, gleaming berries glistened, and such a mighty blaze went roaring up the chimney as had never been known in Scrooge's time, or for many and many a winter season gone. Heaped up on the floor to form a kind of throne were turkeys, geese, game, poultries, great joints of meat, sucking pigs, long wreaths of sausages, mince pies, plum puddings, barrels of oysters, red-hot chestnuts, and seething bowls of punch that made the chamber dim with their delicious steam. In easy state upon this couch, there sat a jolly giant, glorious to see, who bore a glowing torch in shape not unlike Plenty's horn, and held it up, high up to shed its light on Scrooge as he came peeping round the door.
Come in, Ebenezer Scrooge, and know me better, man. I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You've never seen the like of me before.
Oh, you're different from the other spirits. You're tall, almost a giant. That great torch you carry.
Its light falls into the homes of rich and poor alike.
Spirit, take me where you will. Last time I went against my will and learned a lesson which is working now. If you have anything to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe, Ebenezer Scrooge. Touch my robe.
You brought me, Spirit?
An humble dwelling, an humble street.
It's miserable enough.
Yet there is happiness there.
Who are these people? Who's that woman and the children?
These are the family of your clerk, Bob Cratchit. He is wife, dressed in a twice-turned gown, but brave in ribbon, laying the table for their Christmas dinner. And there, assisting her, is their daughter Belinda, and the young man with a fork in the stuffing. That's Master Peter Cratchit, and the two little Cratchits. Listen, Scrooge.
Here's Martha, Mother. Martha!
Bless your heart alive, Martha, my dear. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas, Mother. Merry Christmas. How late you are, my dear.
Oh, we'd a deal of work to finish up last night, and we had to clear away this morning.
Well, never mind so long as you're here now. Sit you down before the fire and have a warm. Lord bless you.
Where's Father?
He's been to church with Tiny Tim. They'll be along directly.
How is Tiny Tim, Mother? Any better at all?
Sometimes I think he is. And sometimes I think, oh, dear God, if anything should happen to Tiny Tim.
Mother, you mustn't even think of such a thing.
Here they are!
Tiny Tim.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Martha, welcome, my dear.
Merry Christmas, Father. And Tim is
Merry
Christmas, Martha. Oh, Tim, you darling. Oh, Father, I'm so glad to be home.
And we're so glad to have you, Martha.
And how did little Tim behave in church, Bob?
Oh, as good as gold and better.
I like church, Mother. Oh, they sang the nicest songs. I hope people saw me there.
Saw you there? And why, Tim?
Well, don't you see? Because I'm lame. And if they saw my crutch, it might be pleasant for them to remember on Christmas who it was made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
Oh, bless you, my son.
Are we ready to eat, Mother? Come on, let's eat.
Yes, children, we're all ready. Come, take your places now. And I'll wait your turn. There's plenty of stuffing and dressing and plum pudding for all of you. Martha, you take care of Tiny Tim and see that he eats plenty. He must get strong and well. Now, just sit down, everyone.
And now, my dears, shall we say grace? Spirit, our Father who art in heaven, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner carefully preserved.
Oh, no, kind Spirit. Say he'll be spared. Say he'll live.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future Ebenezer, the child will die.
And now, my dears, with such a dinner, a toast. A Merry Christmas to us all, and God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
And now to Mr. Scrooge. I'll give you a toast to Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed, who pays you all 15 shillings a week. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast on, and I hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day, I'm sure, on which one drinks the health of such an odious, stingy, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Bob. Nobody knows it better than you, poor fellow.
My dear, Christmas Day.
I'll drink his health for your sake and the day's, not for his. Long life to him. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
And I say God bless him too, Mother, and everyone.
God bless you.
There was nothing of high mark in all this. They were not a handsome family, these Cratchits. They were not well dressed. Their shoes were far from being waterproof. Their clothes were scanty and had known, very likely, the insides of a pawnbroker's. But they were happy, grateful, pleased with one another, and contented with the time. When at last they faded, Scrooge had his eye upon them, and especially on Tiny Tim, until the last. Many calls Scrooge made that night with a ghost of Christmas present. Down among the miners they went who labor in the bowels of the earth, and out to sea among the sailors at their watch, dark, ghostly figures in their several stations. Much they saw, and far they went, and many places they visited, but always with a happy end. The spirits stood beside sick beds, and they were cheerful. On foreign lands, and they were close at home. By poverty, and it was rich. In almshouse, hospital, and jail, where vain man in his little brief authority had not made fast the door and barred the spirit out, the spirit left his blessing. It was a long night, if it was only a night. And it was strange, too, that while Scrooge remained unaltered in his outward form, the ghost grew older. Clearly older.
I'd like to form this globe is very brief, Ebenezer. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight at midnight. Hark. The hour has come.
Oh, no, not yet. Not yet. There are still more things I wish to learn.
These you will learn from still another spirit. Still another spirit, Ebenezer.
Scrooge looked about him for the ghost. It had vanished, and he found himself once more in his bed, in his dressing gown, and his nightcap on his head. He heard the clock strike, and then he remembered the prediction of old Jacob Marley. And lifting up his eyes, beheld the third spirit. Solemn phantom, shrouded in black, draped and hooded, coming towards him slowly and silently like a mist along the ground.
I know you. You are the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You will show me the shadows of things that have not happened, but will happen in the time before us. Answer me, spirit. Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any specter I've seen. Yet I know your purpose is to do me good, and as I hope to live to be another man from what I was, lead on. Lead on. Night's waning fast. Time's precious. Why, have you brought me here again? Here to Bob Cratchit's home? But it's not the same. Why is it so quiet? So very quiet here.
Mother. Mother, please. Oh, my son. My little son. Tiny Tim.
I loved him so.
Oh, Mother dear, you mustn't. It's almost time for Father to be home. Don't let him see you crying.
Yes. Yes, Martha. He's late tonight. He walks slower than he used to. And yet I've known him to walk very fast indeed with Tiny Tim on his shoulder.
So have I, Mother.
But he was light to carry. And his father loved him so that it was no trouble. No trouble at all. Bob.
Good evening, my dear.
You're late, Bob.
Yes, I'm sorry, my dear. I went to the churchyard today. I wish you could have gone with me. It's done your heart good to see how sweet and green a place it is. But you'll see it often, I promised him. Yes, I promised Tiny Tim we'd walk there on a Sunday.
Father dear.
It's God's will, Bob.
I'm trying to understand it, my dear. My son, my little son, Tiny Tim. And I loved him so.
Oh, that's cruel. Cruel. Spirit, can't you give me one ray of hope that I may change all that Tiny Tim may live? Where are you taking me now? Here, on a common street, Spirit? What is there for me to learn here? Who are those men?
I don't know much about it. Either way, I only know he's dead.
Where did he die?
Last night, I believe.
It's likely to be a very cheap funeral for upon my life. I don't know anybody to go to it. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer.
I don't mind going if a lunch is provided.
Come to think of it, I waked I was his best friend.
What?
We used to nod to each other when we met in the street. Spirit, tell me, who is this man that died? Is there no one to mourn the poor creature? No one to follow him to the grave? Perhaps they'll give him a green grave at least, like poor Tiny Tim. Perhaps... Spirit, where are we now? Merciful heaven, a churchyard. Overrun by grass and choked with too much berry. Desolate, lonely, crumbling graves. Spirit, before I draw nearer to that gravestone, answer me one question. Are these shadows of things that will be, or are they shadows of things that may be only? Huh? Will you not speak to me, Spirit? What is that grave to which you point? There's writing on that stone. The name on the gravestone is Ebenezer Scrooge. Ebenezer Scrooge? Oh, no, Spirit, no, hear me. I'm not the man I was. Why show me this if I'm past all hope? Tell me that I can change these dreadful shadows you've shown me by an altered life. I'll honor Christmas in my heart. I'll try to keep it all the year. I'll live in the past, the present, and the future, and I'll not shut out the lessons that they teach. Tell me, Spirit, go on, tell me that I can sponge away the writing on that stone, Spirit. I beg you, Spirit, I beg you. Spirit, I promise on my knees. I promise I'll... It's my own bed. Oh, I'm home. In my own bed. In my own room. And the sun. The sun's shining. It's clear. It's bright. No fog. What a beautiful day. Oh, glorious. The boy. Oh, boy.
Yes, sir?
What's the day?
What's that, sir?
Well, what day is it, my fine fella?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
Ha-ha! Christmas Day! Then I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. All in one night. Heaven be praised.
How's that, sir?
Listen, my lad. You know where the poulterer is in the next street?
I should say I do.
Ha! Intelligent boy. A remarkable boy. Tell me, do you know if they sold the prize turkey that was hanging in the window?
The one as big as me?
What a delightful boy. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Yes, my buck?
It's hanging there now, sir.
That's wonderful. Go around, will you? And tell him to send it to Bob Cratchit and his family on Broad Street. And mind you, they're not to know who paid for it. Go along. Hurry, my lad. Here, wait a minute. Here's $1/2 for your trouble.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And a Merry Christmas, sir.
And a Merry Christmas to you, my boy. Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather, as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. Merry Christmas! A Merry Christmas to everybody. A Happy New Year to all the world! My dear sir, how do you do?
I beg your pardon?
Oh, you, sir. Aren't you the gentleman who came to my office in regard to that charity?
Why, yes, sir.
A Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, sir.
Allow me to ask your pardon, sir. And will you have the goodness to accept? I prefer to whisper this.
But, Lord bless me. My dear Mr. Scrooge, are you serious?
If you please, no, not a farthing less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. Will you do me that favor?
Oh, my dear sir, I don't know what to say to such munificence.
No, don't say anything, please. Come and see me. Will you come and see me?
I will indeed.
Thank you. I'm much obliged to you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you. Merry Christmas.
Next morning, Scrooge was early at his office. He went early for a reason. If he could only be there first and catch Bob Cratchit coming late. That was the thing he'd set his heart upon. And he did it. Yes, he did. The clock struck 9. No Bob. 1:15, no Bob. Scrooge sat with his door wide open that he might see him come in. At last he came. His hat was off before he opened the door. His comforter, too. He's on his stool in a jiffy, driving away with his pen as if he were trying to overtake 9 o'clock.
15 at 21, 6 and carry the 1 and 24 and carry the 2 and 31 and 8 and 9.
Hello, you, Cratchit!
Yes, sir.
Step this way, Cratchit, if you please. Cratchit, what do you mean by coming in at this time of day?
Well, I'm very sorry, sir. I am behind my time.
You are. Yes. I think you are.
Oh, it's only once a year, Mr. Scrooge. It should not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
I'll tell you what, my friend. I'll not stand this sort of thing any longer. And therefore, Bob Cratchit, I'm about to raise your salary.
Mr. Scrooge, are you quite yourself, sir?
No, thank heaven, I'm not quite myself. Merry Christmas, Bob. Merry Christmas, my good fellow. A merrier Christmas than I've given you in many a year. I shall raise your salary, and we'll see what we can do for Tiny Tim and the rest of your family. Huh? We'll discuss it this very afternoon over a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop. Bob, make a fire. Make it up and buy another coal scuttle before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all. and infinitely more. To Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh, and little heeded them. His own heart laughed. That was quite enough for him. He had no further intercourse with spirits, but lived upon the total abstinence principle ever afterwards, and it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that be truly said of us, of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive a King. Let every heart prepare Him room. And heaven and nature sing, and nature sing, and earth and land, and
You have just heard our annual presentation of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, starring Lionel Barrymore, brought to you by the makers of Campbell's Soup. And now here is Orson Welles.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this point in the program, it's my custom, as you know, to present you with a few words of introduction, our guest of the evening. With your consent, I shall dispense with this tonight. To introduce tonight's guest to the Campbell Playhouse audience, or to any American audience, is an extravagant and superfluous procedure. For if ever an actor has won for himself a lasting place in the hearts of his fellow countrymen through years of unsparing and inspiring service, that actor is Lionel Barrymore. Mr. Lionel Barrymore.
Oh, thank you, Orson Welles. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, this is the fourth year I've had the pleasure of appearing in the Christmas Carol here on the Campbell Playhouse, and I assure you all it's a pleasure that never tires. As long as I can remember, this has been one of my favorite stories. When we were children, it was read to us regularly at this time of year, as it is to many millions of children right now. And like many of them, I'm sure, the three of us, Ethel, Jack, and I, with the aid of a sheet and some old ironware, made a play of it. As I remember, we had 3 Scrooges in that production.
Who played Tiny Tim?
I think we had 3 Tiny Tims, too. But seriously, I can think of no part that I've enjoyed playing again and again as much as I have the part of that squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner, Ebenezer Scrooge. And I can think of no happier or more suitable choice for the makers of Campbell's Soups to offer the people of America as their Christmas present each year than Charles Dickens' well-beloved story, A Christmas Carol. Good night, Orson. Good night, everybody. And a Merry Christmas to you all.
Good night to you, Mr. Barrymore. Thank you, sir, and a Merry Christmas to you. Ladies and gentlemen, next Sunday night, we're happy to announce our version of a great and truly American story by a great American novelist, Come and Get It, by Edna Ferber. Against a background of the mighty forests of Miss Ferber's own Wisconsin, it tells a stirring tale of the men and women who live and die in the woods, in order that lumber may come down the rivers every spring into the cities of the modern world. Like so many of Miss Ferber's epic romances of American life, it was made from a best-selling novel into a highly successful motion picture. Now we bring it to you on the air. The story of a man and his son and the girl they both loved, Lotta. Lotta, played for us by one of the loveliest and most accomplished of Hollywood's younger dramatic actresses, Miss Frances Dee. And so until next week, until Come and Get It, my sponsors, the makers of Campbell Soups, and all of us in the Campbell Playhouse remain as always obediently yours. But just one moment, please, Benny. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, it's the night before Christmas. And all through the Campbell Playhouse, not a creature is stirring that doesn't join Lionel Barrymore in wishing you a Merry, Merry Christmas. This goes for all of us, from my sponsor, myself, or for all of us, from Don McBain, who runs the machinery in the control room, to Miss Helgren, who types the Campbell Playhouse script. A Merry Christmas. From Benny Herman and his band of Merry Melodians. Merry Christmas. From Max Sayers, canary-throated chorister. Very Merry Christmas. And from Harry Essman and Chris Thorson and his crew of sound effect technicians. A Merry Christmas. And from Orson Welles and his considerable aggregation of dramatic talent, who include, among others, Mr. Everett Sloane, Mr. Frank Reddick, Mr. Erskine Sanford, Mr. George Coulouris, Mr. Ray Collins, Miss Georgia Backus, Miss B. Benaderet, and many, many others, a Merry Christmas. How about it, everybody? A Merry Christmas! That's right. And now, as Tiny Tim says,
God bless us, everyone.
The makers of Campbell Soups join Orson Welles in inviting you to be with us in the Campbell Playhouse again next Sunday evening when we bring you Edna Ferber's Come and Get It with Miss Frances D. as our guest. Meanwhile, if you have enjoyed our 5th annual presentation of A Christmas Carol, won't you tell your grocer so this week when you order Campbell Soups? This is Ernest Chappell saying thank you and a very Merry Christmas to you all. Columbia Broadcasting System. This is WBBM.
The makers of Lux Toilet Soap.
BlueberryNoEase.com.
Lux presents Hollywood. Lever Brothers Company, the makers of Lux Toilet Soap, bring you the Lux Radio Theater, starring James Stewart, Donna Reed, and Victor Moore in It's a Wonderful Life. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. William Keighley.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we bring you one of the season's most inspiring hits, a Liberty Films production that's been nominated for the highest screen award. Yes, It's a Wonderful Life. And we present it now with its original fine stars, Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed. Jimmy in the role which won him a nomination for the best performance of the year. Also in our cast is starred that fine comedian, Victor Moore. It's a Wonderful Life is the drama of a typical American. Might be you, it might be me. He dreams of glory, he lives in hope, he loves and doubts, and only Providence puts a final value on his service to humanity. Our story starts before the war, when life was normal. Shortages were generally unknown, and simple luxuries like Lux soap were abundant. I won't say that's the only reason people said it's a wonderful life, but I do know from the thousands of letters in our files that most of them said it's a wonderful soap. And they keep right on saying it day after day. In fact, the popularity of Lux soap is what makes it possible to present such entertainment as Frank Capra's great production, It's a Wonderful Life, starring Jimmy Stewart as George, Donna Reed, New York. George Bailey, who more than anything under the sun wanted to see the world. The wonderful story does not begin in fact, it doesn't begin anywhere in the world. It begins in heaven, where the superintendent of angels has just summoned an apprentice angel named Clarence.
Oh, I'm really going down to Earth, sir? Oh, how splendid.
Yes. There's a very discouraged man down there, Clarence. George Bailey. At exactly 10:45 p.m., Earth time, he'll be thinking seriously of ending his life.
Oh, dear, dear, his life.
Now, I want you to stop him if you can. Now, sit down. I'll give you Bailey's case history.
Sir, if I should accomplish my mission, may I perhaps get my wings? I've been waiting over 200